everybody, it's Sherry. Today we're back with another video and we are going to be making roti or Thai pancakes. It is pancake day after all, so that's what we've gone with. If you've ever been to Thailand, you probably would have noticed on the beaches they'll sell these little like squared rotis or Thai pancakes. Now they're usually really crispy on the outside and super soft and chewy, melt in your mouth on the inside. They are so good. But I feel like I should preface this video by explaining that it's not really a very healthy snack. I haven't really found a healthy version of it. I did try to make it with coconut sugar, it just didn't work. You can try doing it without milk. It doesn't really work, so it's just one of those things that you just gotta go for it on a cheat day. Just really enjoy this for what it is, okay? So, it does have sugar, grains, and dairy, the whole shebang, but it's totally worth it, I promise you. Okay, so we're gonna start by using 500 grams of flour. You can use whole wheat flour if you want. This is just the flour that I have. And you've got 1 egg beaten. You've got half a cup of milk. I've used semi-skim, but you can use whole milk. This is just what we had in the house. I've used a tablespoon of butter. I always use organic butter, so the best quality butter you can use, obviously the butter. And then we've got 2 tablespoons of sugar and half a teaspoon of salt, and we just dissolve that in 3/4 cups of warm water. So that's what I have in this bowl here. So we're going to start by adding our eggs into the flour. So just make a little well there. Eggs going in, and milk. And I'm just going to add this in as well. So just put all of our So, milk, eggs, and your bowl of water with dissolved sugar and salt has gone in. Now you will have to use your hands for this. I'm just starting with a spoon because it's just wet batter right now. And you're just gonna get it all over your hands. So just stirring it in. Okay, so you're starting to get this nice doughy consistency to it. That's when you're gonna add your butter in, and that's when you're gonna use your hands. Oops, it starts to get really fun. Right, so adding in the butter. Now you can use a hand mixer if you have one. I like to use my hands when I can, just so I can feel the texture of the dough, and then that way I know if I should be adding a little bit more flour or adding a little bit more oils or butter to it. Okay guys, so I finished mixing my dough. You want a nice consistency where you can kind of break the dough. It won't feel too dry and it won't feel too wet. Now, as with anything else, you can add a little bit of butter or a little bit of water or a little bit of flour if it starts to feel a little bit too wet, okay? You're going to pinch a little, roll it out. This should yield about 20 ping pong size dough balls, yeah? So I pinched that out. Now I'm going to roll it out onto my clean surface. With a lot of recipes you work with, they'll tell you to work on a floured surface. We're gonna do the complete opposite. We want it wet. So we're gonna work with an oiled surface. I've got some coconut oil here. I'm just gonna put a little bit of coconut oil on my kitchen top, and I'm gonna roll this out, okay? Now in Thailand, if you've been before, you'll see these roti guys. So cool. They'll take the dough and they'll flip it and they'll smack it onto their work surface over and over again until you get this like super paper thin dough where you can see through it. Now I don't have that skill, so I'm going to roll it out with the palm of my hands and then use a roller. keep rolling it out until you can get it as thin as you can possibly achieve. It won't be very pretty, but it'll taste good. Now with very traditional roti, they'll roll it out and it'll probably be really, really wide, and then they'll fold it back in all of the corners until you have a square. We're not gonna do that because I'm not able to get the consistency correct and it's not gonna be that thin. So by folding it over, it's gonna thicken the dough, which I don't want. You want it as thin as possible. So I'm just going to cook it that way. Now that's the dough I have. It could even be even thinner than that. So I'm gonna move that out the way, move my pan in, turn this on. High heat is okay. So a little bit of coconut oil is gonna go in my pan. There we go. As I wait for my oil to dissolve, I'm gonna continue to smack down my dough until it really thins out. Okay, so there, nice and thin. That's what you want. Just gonna roll around some oil. I've used a non-stick pan because when you're working with dough, that's so thin, you don't want to break it, obviously. Okay, so you're gonna try not to break the skin of the dough. I'm gonna put it on. There we go. It's on high heat. Leave it to cook for a little bit. Now they always use their hands in Thailand, just to kind of move it around. And what you will see at the bottom when we flip it over now are just little heat bubbles. You want bubbles in it so that it separates the layers and you get this nice crispy outer layer, soft on the inside. Just have a look at that. Yep, it's cooking nicely. Just leave that for a bit. Adjust my heat a little bit. Now in Thailand, you've got loads of options, different things that you can put on it. The most common one that people do is my favorite, is the bananas and chocolate. So, so good. But what they always put on top of it as default topping is the condensed milk. It's so good. It tastes absolutely delicious and I just love it. So from the condensed milk, you can have whatever you want, strawberries, bananas, chocolate. I always just go for the bananas and chocolate and the condensed milk. Okay, so it's starting to cook through. I'm gonna flip that. Oh, look at that, amazing. So it's starting to bubble and separate the layers a little bit, and that's when you know you'll get that perfect crispy on the outside, soft on the inside, melt in your mouth consistency. Okay, I'm gonna grab my chopping board while we wait for that to cook. Almost done. Now when they serve it up, they tend to cut it so that it comes out into like little squares, which is what we're gonna do now. So I'll turn that off. Move that across so you guys can see me do this. So there's your roti. Yeah, nice and bubbly, crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. Going onto my cutting board. We're gonna start by putting in on our condensed milk. And you don't have to use these, you can use whatever toppings you like. And my chocolate. And then I'm gonna cut them into tiny little squares. You can just hear them cracking as you cut into it. That's good roti, nice and crispy on the outside. All right, let's try this. I'm gonna go for the pieces in the middle that are full of chocolate and condensed milk. Oh my goodness, so good. Perfectly crispy skin, soft inside. Just so good. And so easy to make as well. And you don't have to eat your entire batch of, 20 little dough balls. I made them last week and I separated them out into tiny little bags. So you've got a bag of 4, however many people you have in your family. Freeze them, and then when you're ready to cook them again, just take them out, thaw them overnight in the fridge somewhere, and then just take them out. So you don't have to go through the process of making the dough again. You just roll it out onto an oiled surface and then fry it, and then you're done. And then you have this lovely Thai roti to enjoy. I'm just gonna go and finish eating this, guys. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.